Okay, testing, testing. Oh, this music is so relaxing. Okay. Okay. I'm still stretching, everybody. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Just make sure everything is working. Okay, you can hear me. If you can hear me twice, I'm testing my audio. Don't think you can hear the music though. So calming. Am I low volume? Or is the music low? Let me know. I do definitely want to be heard. Your voice could be, oh, my voice could be louder. That's true. How could it be louder, you know? Let's see. I'll try to make myself louder, even though this is, I'll try to be louder. One sec, let's see. Both. I see. Both could be louder. Music could be louder, voice could be louder. Okay. Let's go to my settings. Do I use OBS? No, I use Meld Studio, which is going to be explained in the upcoming overview of all the stuff that I use, because everybody was like, show us. Okay, let's see. I'm turning up the input volume. I just turned it up a little bit. Testing, testing. It should be louder now. I'm going to testing. I could go up to 80. What I did was I turned off the gain on my mic. But you might hear, that's better. 'Tis louder. You might hear my heater now because it's cold over here on the East Coast. Okay, that's better. I can hear myself. I hear my dulcet tones. Okay. Sideways, bottom up. Okay, slide in. Okay, 1 second. But I'm going over Breathless. Every time I go live, there's always going to be a little... Chat could fiddle with their volume knobs too. Yeah, turn up your volume knobs. Turn up the knobs, you guys. Twist the knobs, I guess, as it were. Twist them. Twist those knobs. Okay. I can't see chat on my other screen. Okay, let's get into it. It's louder. Oh, I just hit my elbow. Okay, so I'm looking at Breathless, actually. Let's see. It is a survival horror role-playing game. I was inspired by it as well. I'm working on a GM-less game based off of the SRD for this game. So I'm really appreciative of it just being around. And I hope that it is fully kick-started, or is that the word? Fully backed. It's currently at 20K with a pledge of, with a goal of 30K. So I hope within the next 11 days it can reach its goal. I think that would be awesome. I hope it's gonna be released anyway, no matter what, but I think this is for like maybe the art. Oh, I don't know. Let's read. Okay. So, Breathless, the Frightmare Edition. Loot, shoot, survive. The thrilling Rules Bright survival horror role-playing game by Fari RPGs. Remastered in a retro VHS story pack format. Get ready to loot, shoot, and survive. Okay. Okay, what does Rules Bright mean? I know Rules Heavy, Rules Light. What is Rules Bright? Yes, this stream will be available not as a regular YouTube video, but it will be like the live VOD will be up so you can watch it later. Okay, what does Rules Bright mean? I gotta turn down the music for myself so I can understand what it means. Rules Bright definition, unless anybody else knows. Oh, here we go. Okay. Can you explain what Rules Bright means? Oh, okay. It's not explaining it. Help me. Okay. Oh, I thought this post was going to explain what it meant. It's not doing that at all. New layout. Okay, UK Dane, he says, it's a ttrpg design philosophy focusing on mechanics that intentionally reinforce a game's theme, setting, and emotional experience rather than just being light or heavy. So it focuses on mechanics that intentionally reinforce a game's theme. Okay. Don't all games... I mean, isn't that the goal of all games, or what do you guys think? I would still like to look into that more. Okay, so a survival horror RPG with condensed mechanics. Yes, please. Okay. Everyone's infected. The lucky ones, like you, just lost their minds. For the others, they became breathless, living dead, gasping for air, wandering the ruins of society. A single bite wakes the sickness, turning you into one of them. All that remains is to loot, shoot, and survive. Okay, so made for 1 game master and 2 to 5 players. Hold on, can you guys? Okay. Play it your way, perfect for one-shots and campaigns. I believe the previous first version was mainly for one-shots, and I believe this has now been expanded. So there is advancement stuff going on now for campaign play. Okay, Rules Bright, a streamlined system where every mechanic ties into the narrative and makes the story more intense. Okay, I guess I need to look into Rules Bright more because I want to look at who created this. This is interesting. Hacked to bits. Breathless has inspired hundreds of hacks. True, there are so many hacks. Ready to go. Story pack format gives you everything you need to play. Dry erase markers. There you go. Okay. 28 days later, of course. Classic. Left 4 Dead. The Walking Dead. It's not inspired by The Last of Us? What? What? I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How to play. You can get the core rules for free on itch.io, right? They're right here. This is itch.io. That's the core rules. Okay, so how do we play? So when a character attempts something challenging or tries to avoid a consequence, they make a check. As is normal in a lot of other games. And then the GM defines the risk and the character's position. So good, standard, bad, or dire. I like that. This is a very like theater of the mind type positioning, and that's my favorite. I love zones and stuff like that. And the player chooses a skill. Okay, each skill has a die assigned. They roll that die and check the result. I love a tiered success as well. Like a lot of PBTA games do this. And Year Zero engine. Or not Year Zero. Year Zero is just a pool and you got to get 6s, actually. Okay, so you choose a skill, roll its matching die, and then check the result. On a 1 to 2, the action fails. On a 3 to 4, it succeeds, but with a reduced effect. So a success with a complication as usual. And then on a 5+, you greatly succeed. And then the higher the result, the greater the effect. After each check, the player reduces that skill die by 1 step. So no matter what, even if you rolled a 5+, you're reducing the skill die. Because nothing lasts. Okay? You have to stop to catch your breath because eventually you'll become breathless. And then you reset all your skill die to the original values once you catch your breath. So it's like the quick rest. But when you do, the DM gets to introduce a consequence. And that's a similar to mechanic in Perils and Princesses, where it's called a picnic. That's their version of a short rest. But when you do, the GM could come in and add in a complication. And in that game, it's called a wrinkle. So it's a very, very common mechanic I've seen. I like it. And then you find loot. So make the most of your surroundings. Whenever you find a suitable location, you roll a loot check. Roll high and you score big. You can gain a powerful item that will help you go above and beyond what your skills allow. Roll low and you'll face the consequences. Of course. Okay, so every item also has a die size, and the more you use it, the more likely it is to break. I really like this mechanic. There's a lot of games that do this. I want to say it's a Year Zero game that you could play solo. It's like a hex crawl. Not Dragonbane. I forgot it, but it also uses die type where you roll like on a 1 or a 2 and then it reduces. I really like that mechanic. Okay, so you can take harm. Some consequences deal 1 to 3 harm based on the severity. You could take 5 harm and you become vulnerable, and you're 1 failed check away from being taken out or killed. Okie dokie. Use your grit. Once per session, when a character gives it everything they got, you can roll with grit. Oh, once per session. Okay. A D12 that can replace a skill die. Oh, I see. So you got to be careful with that. You can only use it once. Yeah. Caranathalis has a utility dice. Yep. Hold on, let me see if I can like view. I can't view chat on my other screen. Let's reload. Let's see if it works now. There we go. Now I can see chat. Okay. Okay, so the grit is I like it. Another cool mechanic. So find your memories. I wonder if you guys can hear music at all. I wonder if, I'm not sure if I should turn it up. There's a new Caranathalis edition out, Gravebound edition. I'll have to look it up. Gravebound edition. Okay, find your memories. You start with barely any knowledge of who you are, how you got here. Okay. These types of mechanics I'm not sure about. I've seen them done poorly too many times. The whole you wake up and don't know who you are type. At the start of every session, you make a check with the Think skill to see if you unearth any hidden knowledge about your past. Okay, so this is what this is the benefits of the campaign play, because or else you're just doing a one shot and you have no idea who you are. I just find it hard because it's like, okay, so what's my motivation? Because I don't know who I am, who's around me. So I don't know who I care about or why I care about anything. So that's why the missing memory trope is hard for me. Yeah, that's my only thoughts. I don't know about the whole lost memory mechanic. In a one shot, how would that work? I would just say in a one shot, you have your memories. You got them. Okay, you can see it played. So what do we get? What do we get? You get 6-player pamphlets. Perfect with dry erase. And then there is some journeys. We're going to look at one. One is called Burning Bridges. Yeah, I'm making a solo supplement for this. And because there is a jam, there's a game jam going on, like everybody's creating stuff. And somebody did create solo rules, but they're very thin in my opinion. So I'm making something that is a lot more procedural, that will help, that truly helps, like replace the GM, that you can roll on tables and it helps move the story forward. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. There's new journeys. There is locations, obstacles, and escalations. Each can be run as a one-shot or the start of a campaign. And then we have havens now. Havens is new. Journeys and havens, along with rules, reminders, and helpful GM advice. Okay. Okay, so this all can't be fit on one pamphlet, right? So, because the game rules are right here, which is like one pamphlet. But everything they describe, can it all? I guess, I don't know. I don't like when things are too squished together. I know pamphlets are like a good, easy and pick up and go design. I prefer a little bit more pages for the space, personally. Okay. So it looks like it's multiple pamphlets though. And it's gonna go inside of like a VCR tape type package, which I think is really cool design. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Music is kicking in. Oh, I love the soundtrack, by the way. Fantasy Plus recently put this out last year, or I forgot, but they're very much obviously inspired by The Last of Us, and I love it. Okay. Vince said, same, there's a lot of GM work needed with memory loss. Yeah. Because your players are like, and I won't say it makes the players more passive, but it's like they don't know, and they kind of depend on us to like drip feed the information to them. It's hard. I don't really do memory loss stuff. There we go. Digital copies of everything. Okay, so it is 6. Oh, it's 6-player pamphlets. It's just like your character sheet. Okay. 4 journeys, haven and journey creation rules, and a hazards and factions pamphlet. Okay, so there's multiple stuff. Story pack. I love the design. It's so like, is the word, can we use retro here? Roommate suddenly walks in with a guitar. Yeah, dude, can you back up a little bit with your guitar? Okay, so that's the game. So let's look at the rules here. I'm gonna have to zoom in. Like, I like the pamphlet design. I understand it, especially on the one-page RPG days and all that good stuff. Sometimes it gets really tiny though in my eye. I'm like, okay. Oh, the scroll wheel, wrong button. Okay, player survival guide. Right. There are 2 types of personas. We have the player. Then there's the game moderator, whose role is to depict the world, portray NPCs, and guide conversations. Yep, we know all this. Know all this stuff. My solo rules will be available on itch.io when I upload it to the game jam, wherever that's at. But let's see. Where's the game jam? It's here somewhere. Need more Breathless. Join the Breathless. There we go. Here we go. Here's the game jam. I have 11 more days, so it will be in there at some point before it ends. Okay. So you'll need dry erase markers. Okay, so it sounds like they are coming already packaged in the dry erase format, which is fine. I wonder if you could get both though, if you wanted to use like a pen or a pencil. Okay, full set of polyhedral dice. Okay, how the heck? I'm always confused, like how in which order to read these, but I think it's the one to the right I read next. I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? I don't know. How the heck do you read pamphlets digitally? So I think, okay, so I'm thinking about how it folds and how it opens. This would be on the back, right? This page here. Jesus. How does this work? Okay. Let's just do character creation first. How do I create a character? Let's see. You must create your own survivor. As the virus swept across the world, those who remained lost something too, their memories. Why did they lose their memories though? Oh, I mean, is that what the virus is doing? Maybe so the virus is messing with your mind and your memories. Okay. Okay. Those who are okay, but I thought okay, but if you're not infected, it's still infecting your memory too? Okay. Yeah, read it in whatever order. I guess it doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. I need to reach out to the creator. Why did the non-infected lose their memories? Like what's up with that? So you only remember, but you remember your name and your occupation. You're like, I don't remember anything. I know that I was a doctor named George, though. My name is George and I was a doctor. Anything else? I have no idea. Interesting. Okay. Da, da, da. Now I feel like messaging the the creator right now. Why did we lose our memory? Okay. Okay, so to create your character, pick an occupation which defines your skills, the starting items, and the memory track. The memory track is a series of prompts that help reveal who you used to be. So you have to pick an occupation, the starting items, and your memory track. So if I go down to the character sheet here, where is this memory track at? Catch your breath, position, there's harm. Okay, where is the memory track? Top is page 1 on the right. Is that how you read it? Top page is 1 on the right, and page 4 on the left bottom is page 2. Okay. That sounds too much like a puzzle for me. I'm just gonna read it in whatever. I need I need the actual visuals telling me like read this first, then this. Where's this memory track at? Okay, I guess that's a good question that I will ask later. Where is memory track? Here's another version of the character sheet too, but I don't see memory track here either. Anyway, okay. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, at the beginning of each session, players unlock the next memory on their track. Yes, but where is the track? Where's the track? Make a think check. On a 1 to a 2, the memory is fragmented. Blurred faces, muffled voices, nothing more. Okay, so if I was going to do this, I'm not thinking of what this memory is. I would tell the players. I would say, okay, it's a 1 to a 2, or solo. If I was rolling by myself, oh, it's a 1 to a 2. I'm coming up with the memory that was fragmented. Obviously, if it's solo, but if I'm running this game for others, I'd be like, the memory is fragmented. So it's blurred faces. It feels like a dream. You tell me what it is. Yeah, all this stuff, I'm not coming up with it. If I'm running it, I'm putting that on the players. Or if it's like a 5+, I'm gonna be like, this memory returns in full. It's very specific, vivid detail. There's no shadow of a doubt that this is a real memory. What is it? Yeah, I'm asking the players that. Because on top of everything you have to do while you're jamming, I'm not like keeping hold of your character's memories either. Nope. The track is in my mind palace. My mind palace has a lot of cobwebs in it. Okay. Okay, occupations. At the start of each session, unlock your next memory on your track. Didn't we just read that? We just read that here. No? Okay. I guess that's another thing. I was just expecting to just do an overview. Now I have more questions that I'm going to send over. Hey, why is this sentence twice on purpose? Let's see. Okay, so you could be, okay, here are the memories. So is it like there's 5 of them. Once you can answer all 5, then you fully know who you are again, maybe? So if I was a police officer, there's 5 memories. I think unlock your next memory on the track. But where's the track? Where's the track? Is this the track? Glute, sway, think. You know, maybe if I look at this hard enough, I think the track will appear. Okay. And then there's the occupation, so you can be a whole bunch of stuff. You can be an influencer. Jesus Christ. Yep, this is set in the 21st century. Okay, priest. You guys didn't hear me say priest. Just erase that from your memory track, please. Farmer, scientist, park ranger, veteran, convict, and a teacher. Can I be a convict teacher? How about that? Some crazy memories. Okay, so this is the character sheet. You have your skill dice. Then it tells you how to make checks. If another character lends a hand, they also make a check, but you share the same risks. I like that rule. That's also in Legend of the Mist. I like it. Okay, after a check, every participant reduces the risk. Oh, so everybody. Okay, so just know that if you're helping someone, that skill does step down. Okay, luck. When needed, the GM may also test how lucky you are, punk. Okay, by assigning a die. Oh, interesting. I like that. So it could be if you're like, oh, you're very lucky. It's a D12. Yeah. Or you're like, the odds are very much not in your favor. I'm going to roll a D4. So the best you can get is things work out, but not as well as you hoped. I like it. When you attempt something, did I miss something? Yeah, I think it still needs to be proofread a little bit more. Where does it say when you attempt something? I skipped it. When you attempts, I see it. Yeah. There's a few extra S's in here that don't need to be. So yeah, that is luck. Oh no. Oh, I keep doing the wrong scroll wheel on my mouse. Okay. Okay, so this is harm. When you face a consequence, the GM may decide that you harm. Or maybe it's that you take harm. Maybe that's what that's supposed to say. The GM assigns a 1 to 3 harm based on severity. So minor, 1 harm. Serious is 2 to 3 harm. Record harm using this chart. Writing an injury down in each section per harm taken. Okay, so you can take 5. So it's like there's 5 sections of the body. Okay, sure. I personally prefer this character sheet here. That's just me. I think the design is just easier to parse, and I know that they're, going with the heavy graphics here, and it fits for sure. But for actual play, I would use this one personally. So it's 5 sections of the body. So if I got shot in the shoulder, I guess you can write down like the injury here, I guess, and put 2 harm or something. 2 harm to shoulder. I don't know. Okay. Record harm using this chart, writing down an injury. Writing an injury down in each section per harm taken. When you mark 5 harm, you become vulnerable. And while you're vulnerable, failing check to avoid. Let me zoom in. I'm like, is it me because I'm zoomed out too much? While vulnerable, failing check to avoid. Maybe it's failing a check. While vulnerable, failing a check to avoid a consequence could mean being taken out or sudden death. Failing a check to avoid so you're like, it goes up to 5 harm. If you take 1 more and you fail, if you take another harm or if you fail a roll, death. Okay. Yeah, there's no memory track on this. We got to add that memory track somewhere. Okay, and then there is position. When the fiction places you at an advantage or disadvantage during a check, the GM establishes the character's position and adjusts the roll. So if it's a good position, you have advantage. You could make checks with your skill die 1 step up. And then there's the standard position, and then bad. You're at a disadvantage. Sometimes a check may be unnecessary or be impossible to make. Controlled position. You have complete control and the action succeeds outright. Sometimes a check may be unnecessary or be impossible. So if you're in a controlled position, then I wouldn't even ask you to roll. Then you would just succeed. Would you still step down the die though? If you don't roll, but you still succeed on an action? Okay, and then you have a dire position. You face an overwhelming or impossible challenge. You are forced to change how you approach the situation. I'm forced, you say? I don't like being forced. Okay. Okay, and then there's catching your breath, and then there's a safe rest. Okay, so catching your breath resets your skill die to their original ratings, and your grit is restored. But you can only use grit once per session. So my question is grit restored because you're catching your breath, or is grit just restored at the top of each session? That's my question. So this can happen at any time during play, even during moments of high tension, such as combat. This can happen anytime during play. Oh, okay. I guess you could catch your breath. Would players start to abuse that? Would I abuse it in solo play? I'm thinking about that mechanic. I'm thinking I'm in the middle of a date. I'm like running away from zombies, or they're like on the other side of a kitchen island in a dilapidated restaurant, you know, and they're like 5 feet away from me, and I'm like, I guess I could catch my breath for a second and then they hop over and bite me. I don't know. Catching breath anytime, even during combat, is something I got to think about. Realistically, can you catch your breath if there's a zombie actively chasing after you, or like if it's during combat and you're grappling with one and its teeth are like 3 inches from your neck and you're like, okay, I'm gonna catch my breath. See, I don't know if it works. If multiple characters catch their breath at the same time, resolve it as a single group event. Okay. Afterward, the GM introduces one consequence for the group. Okay. So there's a consequence. The consequence is that you did it while you were fighting and the zombie bit you. Oh my. Okay, and then there is safe rest. When you locate a secure shelter and can rest for at least a day, you gain the same benefits as catching your breath without any of the consequences. Okay. Then you can also clear an amount of harm determined by the GM. For example, a bandage or basic first aid may clear 1 harm. A med kit or proper treatment clears 2 harm. And extended rest in a safe location with medical supplies clears 3 or more. Okay. And I guess that is all the rules for this part. I mean, it all makes sense to me except for the parts that didn't. Oh, there's grit. Here's grit. Okay. When you want to give your everything and attempt a feat of pure determination, you can use your grit. Grit is a single-use D12 that can be used in place of any die. Color in when used. Okay, is there grit in this character sheet? It is. I like this design more. I don't want to color it in. That's just me though. I know some people would love that. But I like that I could just check it off. I'm not a drawer. But I know some people like the doodle and they would like it. Okay. So that is that. Let's look at, because there's like a journey. Now there's, this was sent over to me. So these are the Journey in Haven. This will be the Journey in Haven pamphlet. So it's not designed just yet. So let's see. Okay, players are survivors of a world swallowed by dangerous virus outbreak. Right? They have those who remain have no memory of the life they once lived. Their past is hidden. But why? Why is it hidden? So many questions. Okay, so there are journeys as well. Okay, so here we go. The game usually moves through 3 phases: Journey, Haven, and Survival. Each phase provides tools and rules to keep the table locked in. Grim, tense survival horror. Start play in 1 phase, then let the fiction and the players... Oh, here's my roommate. He's back. Turn down your guitar, bro. It's beautiful, but turn it down. Okay. So we have the journey. Oh, is it journeys, haven, and survival? Okay, so in a journey, they're characters are traveling, they're trekking from one region to another. In Legend of the Mist, they're called journeys as well. This guy. Yeah, okay. Roommate came back in. Okay, so in a journey, trekking. Okay, so when starting the game, we recommend beginning in on a journey and think about why the characters are traveling. So we lost everything, or I know of a place. We can't stay here long. Okay. At the start of your journey, the GM assigns a journey die to the group from D4 up to D12, depending on how well equipped the characters are. So each time the players move from one point to another along a path, the GM rolls the journey die. Okay. On a 1 to a 2, the path forward is blocked. 3 to 4, it's hazardous, and 5+, it's clear. So I like that the mechanics stay the same. It's always that the lower your roll is, the worse it is. There are some games that will change it up annoyingly. I'm glad it's like on a 1 to a 2, the path is clear. Uh-oh, this is too scary. Where's my roommate? Get back in here. Start plucking. There we go. Okay. So yeah, on a 5+, the group makes steady progress. Okay. On once a journey has begun, you cannot take a safe rest until you reach your final destination, or by pausing travel for a full week in a shelter that is safe and secure enough. A full week. And the GM may change the journey die during the trip as the fiction justifies it, stepping it up for helpful finds or stepping it down for setbacks. Okay, I like that. And then we have the survival phase. So in survival, the story zooms in and the tension rises. Okay, so in Legend of the Mist as well, a journey is a series of vignettes. So like in Lord of the Rings, when they're journeying and doing all the walking, we're not zooming in on everything they experience. They walked for miles. So that's the journey part. And then, well, actually, I didn't read this part. So let's see. On a 1 to a 2, the path is blocked. The rating of journey die is reduced by 1 step, and the story zooms in on the problem. Yeah, this is just like journeys in Legend of the Mist. So Legend of the Mist has journeys like this, and then it's full of vignettes, which are scene beats that you just play very quickly. And so they could be positive, they could be negative. It's just a moment in your journey that has happened. Yeah. And you just make a quick check. It's meant to be streamlined. But I have a feeling this is meant to be streamlined as well, unless I roll on a 1 or a 2. Because it says a 3 and a 4, the GM may use this to pause to show how the road wears the characters thin. Oh, but you don't have to. But the journey is reduced by 1 step on a 3 to a 4 even. Okay, so survival, this is where the story zooms in. So this might be the roll on the 1 to a 2 maybe. But it's after, let's say you're journeying from one end of town to the other, or out of the mountains through a town, through the highway, and you finally make it to your destination. That's the journey. And then let's say you're at the town now. So this is the survival. This is used when the characters enter dangerous locations, if they're scavenging for supplies, or come face to face with direct threats. We're focusing on moment-to-moment decisions. This is where the gameplay comes in, as usual. Random obstacle table. Yeah, exactly. I love tables now. I didn't use tables nearly as much before as just a regular GM for players until I got into solo games and I realized that tables are freaking awesome. But I have a random obstacles table for my solo supplement. Exploring a ruined hospital, looting an abandoned mall, sneaking through streets, crawling with Breathless. That's their survival phase. Survival ends when the group has escaped the threat, cleared the danger, or reached a moment where the fiction allows the story to breathe again. Okay, and then we have Haven phase. So in a haven, the survivors can finally stop the endless grind of the road and start rebuilding connections with people, politics, and even scraps of civilization. Keeping a haven safe is never easy. One spark is enough to see the whole effort collapse. As such, survivors often need to leave the safe walls to hunt for supplies, bargain, and make sure the dead stay far from home. The One Ring, I bet it has a bunch of cool encounter tables. I bet it does. Unfortunately, I did not like the mechanic for the One Ring. I truly gave it a shot and was not having fun. Okay. A haven can take many forms. It could be an abandoned building, a fortified complex, a cluster of improvised shelters, or even a walled city. So I watched episode 1 of Attack on Titan. So with that walled city would be considered haven. But that show's crazy. At the end of episode 1, like those big giants got through their haven. So this game is correct. Keeping a haven safe is never easy. Should I continue on Attack on Titan? I only watched episode 1. Should I watch episode 2 after this? Should I continue? It was so depressing. And those big giants have weird, creepy smiles. I'm wondering how these little people are going to defeat him. Then the kid's mother gets eaten right in front of him. That show is crazy. It was just episode 1. Anyway. Is there an Attack on Titan style ttrpg? Okay, Haven Dice. Okay, so while in a haven, players can roleplay, barter, trade. They can ask questions, rumors, okay, investigate leads, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if the group isn't starting the game on a journey, beginning in a haven is also a good choice. But it does say that the game recommends starting in a journey, right? Where do they say start play in one phase? I feel like I read somewhere that they decide. Oh yeah, here we go. We recommend beginning on a journey. Okay, you're just trying to rage bait, Vince. I don't watch cartoons. Shut up. Excuse me, I don't watch cartoons. I am an intellectual. Oh my god. Okay. So we have Haven dice. So the Haven's protection is tracked with 3 dice. Containment, supplies, and morale die. Each ranges from D4 to D12. I'm guessing the lower the worse for all 3. Set by the GM, depending on the Haven state. When the survivors leave on a run, all 3 are rolled. Oh, snap. Okay, because when you're out, I guess you can't control what's happening at the Haven. Okay, the containment die, when that is rolled, because it measures the state of the infection in the surrounding area of your haven, it tells the GM how many major threats tied to the Breathless they can use during the mission. It tells the GM how many major they can use containment die during the mission. What does containment die have to do with the haven, though, if it's affecting the mission? That's my question. Maybe I'm not understanding it, but, well, maybe it's explained well, and I'm not understanding it. I'm not sure. Well, if it's explained well, I would understand, right? So yeah, I'm not getting this. I understand, like, a containment die and measuring the state of the infection in the surrounding area. But where I get confused is how it affects the mission. How does the containment die that has to do with the infection of your haven, or the breathless around your haven, have to do with when you're out of the haven during the mission? Is what I'm wondering. The GM may use a major threat at any moment to turn the fiction hard against survivors, dragging the living dead into the spotlight. Okay. And then we have supplies die, measures hidden stockpiles in preparation. It tells the group how many times they can declare they came prepared. Okay. Okay. I love a supply die. Each use grants a free D12 rated item that a character can add to their backpack. These supplies are a shared resource for the whole group. Okay. So we roll these at the top, right? We roll these 3 die. When they leave. Okay. So when the survivors leave on a run, all 3 are rolled. So I would go, okay, Haven dice. Oh, I rolled a 3 to a 4. I can use 2 major threats. Okay, on the supply die, I rolled a 1. So you guys only have 1 prepped or stash item. And then I would roll the morale die. 5+. There are 3 risk-free. You can have 3 risk-free catch your breath. Because things are looking up. But still, catch your breath during a fight is kind of crazy. In terms of just like realistically. Like a zombie or someone just stabbed you and you're like, I'm going to catch my breath. Someone just like stabs your lung. I'm going to catch my breath. That's the one I got to look into a little bit more. Okay, once all Haven dice are rolled, the run or mission can begin and the game shifts into a survival phase until the characters return to their Haven, if they can make it back. Okay, but didn't we also learn that catch your breath can only be used once per session? No, that's grit. Only grit can be used once per session. But then you can get it back once you catch your breath. But you can only use it. I think that rule should be tweaked. You get it back every session, not when you catch your breath, because you can only use it once anyway. So aftermath of a run. So when a run ends, the GM works with the table to evaluate how it went by asking. Okay, this is like year 0 engine style end of session questions. Based on the discussion, the GM classifies the mission as one of the following: haul, cost, or loss. Haul. The survivors pulled through, mostly intact, and then you can increase the rating of 1 survival die, usually 1 tied to the run's goal. A survival die? What is their survival die? Am I missing something? Is the survival die the... Sorry, here's survival. In survival, the story. Session. No, that's a journey die. I got containment. This is the Haven dice. Where's the survival die? If any time 2 or more survival dice are reduced to a D4, the GM triggers a fallout. Okay, fallout. Liminal Horror has a fallout feature as well. Okay, what's a survival die though? 2 or more survival dice. I truly don't know where survival die is. That's another question I have. Fallout. The Haven has fallen. Morale collapses, supplies run dry, and the contagion surges. The situation escalates to new extremes, leading the survivors with no choice but to flee their homes. Okay, so if 2 or more survival dice are reduced to D4, that triggers a fallout, and like your whole haven, I guess, just goes up in flames. There's a TV show about a guy without a nose called Fallout. There's not a TV show about a guy without a nose. If you're talking about Fallout, that's a hilarious way to describe the show. I think it's about a guy without a nose. Oh my god. Okay, so Fallout may also mark the end of the game or serve as a turning point where time jumps forward. And the players either continue with the same characters or create new ones to carry on with the story. Okay, so when Fallout begins... So Fallout starts as... You only saw 2 eps. Even if you only saw 2 episodes, that's not what the show's about. It's about a guy. I think it's about a guy without a nose. Oh my god. Okay, so Fallout begins. The GM declares a new reality. If the survivors can escape alive, they begin a new journey, seeking a new haven, taking it one day at a time. Okay, I have a few questions, nothing that's like making me hate the game. I think I still will run it and have a fun time. I just have like clarifying questions about like, where's the survival die? Where is the... Because it mentions... What does it mention? It mentions a memory track, but there is not one on the character sheet. On either of them. So, yeah. And then, like, random spelling errors, but nothing huge. It's like missing the letter A, or there's an extra S somewhere. It's small stuff. But I think this is fun. How many sessions could it be? I would say at least 5, especially for... Because you want your memories back, right? Because every session, you want at least 5 opportunities to get your memories back. When do you get them back? I mean, on all rolls, you get them back. The worst is that they just come back fragmented if you roll a 1 or a 2. Okay, so we read about journeys. There is a journey called Burning Bridges. Okay, so it's these 2 pages, and it looks like it's a classic, I would call it a point crawl. Sounds like a point crawl if I'm understanding how point crawls work. I think Cairn does a lot of point crawl stuff. Oh my, it's 10:44. I have a meetup in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But let's look at this. Oh, I want to create a character. Let's create the character, actually. Anyway, this is a sample journey called Burning Bridges. It says start of a journey, roll a die of D8. Start of a journey. Is that going to be the, because you're supposed to roll 3 die, right? Oh, no. Oh, this is the journey die, depending how well equipped they are. So is it that die? So let me zoom in. Oh, no, this is different. It says start with a journey die. In Journeying Haven's rules, it's to interpret how well equipped they are. Okay. But here it says when the party moves between locations, roll the journey die. Okay. So the adventure opens as the fire. So in this adventure, the party must flee a massive wildfire as it spreads through the city in which they have been living. Is it San Francisco? This looks like the San Francisco Bay Bridge. Okay. It opens as the fire reaches the party's fallen haven. Once they escape, they must deal with the first event from the fire clock before starting the journey. The party will know about the harbor and Fairview Hospital, so let's see. So we start here. This is the Fallen Haven. Start here. And then they know about the harbor and Fairview, so they can choose either or. And before heading to Angel Bridge here, and then farther east, past South Mountain to Tom's Farm. Okay, so they're trying to get to Tom's Farm. Yeah, that sounds like a journey to me. So when the party leaves the Fallen Haven for the first time, the Fire Clock event number 1 occurs. And that is here. After this, each time the journey die usually rolls a 1 or 2, the wildfire spreads and the next event occurs. So if I roll a 1 or a 2, this is the Fire Clock, okay? The fire runs rampant within the city. Waves of Breathless spread throughout the streets. A pack of 1d12 Breathless rush the party. Okay, so that's the Fire Clock. So, okay, so as soon as they leave, that's as soon as we start the game. The Fallen Haven, start here. So then I would be like, the fire runs. Oh, that you are immediately rushed by Breathless. Interesting. Could be 1 to 12. That'd be crazy if I roll a 12. Knowing how I roll, I would roll a 12. Are you confused by this game now? I'm not confused by this game. There's like little mechanics here or there where I'm like, can I just get a clarification? And that's all I need. There are other games where I am far more confused, where it's to the point of being frustrating. This is just like, huh? What does that mean? I know that as soon as I get a clarification, it will, yeah. So start with a journey die. On a 1 to a 2, reduce their journey die by 1 step and trigger the next event of the Fire Clock. Okay, yep, that's connected. On a 3 to a 4, reduce the journey die by 1 step, and every player must also reduce the rating of one of their skills by 1 step. I guess whichever skill makes narrative sense. And then on a 5+, the journey continues without complication. And then down here, just a little what you find at each location. So they would know. So if they went to the harbor, then we would see the harbor. So then you would say, okay, so you see 2 cargo ships that are docked. 30-foot wide moat of brackish water separates the docks and warehouses from the city, and there are armed guards who are patrolling the area. What do you do? Also, I roll a d12. You are getting rushed by 12 Breathless. Figure it out. Okay. I literally have like 5 minutes left. Let's create a character. I'm not going to use this sheet though. I don't know what their name is. Somebody give me a name. What's... Here we go, character creation. I don't know why. I was just here. Boom. Create your character. Name, occupation, and nothing else. Occupation. Dr. George. That's true. I did say Dr. George earlier. Can Dr. George be an influencer? Can he be one of those influencer doctors online on YouTube? He smokes and he also didn't wear a mask during COVID. This guy sucks. We're gonna say he just remembers his name. And he remembers his occupation, but he's stressed, so he also smokes. Yeah, he knows it's bad for him, but what can you do during these dark times? Wait, is doctor one or is it nurse? Okay, he was a nurse. I thought it was doctor. Dr. George WebMD. You got it. He's like, I don't remember what much, but I know they loved me on TikTok. What if that was one of the memories? I'd be like, Jesus, I don't want to remember that part. Details. Just let's say he has an angelic face, 8-pack, abs. He lifts. What else does he do? Dark curly hair. 6'4". Okay. And Mager. There we go. Okay, so let's assign his stats. Or does the game say he's stats? So we're nurse. So I'm gonna zoom in on nurse real quick. So think is yeah. He doesn't remember that though. He might be a serial killer. He doesn't. Jesus Christ, what if that was one of your memories? Well, I have a feeling memories are tied to the occupation you had, so we'd have to make the serial killer occupation a custom one. Okay, nurse. So think dash sway. Oh, so it already kind of, it tells you what your skills are already. So you don't really put in the skills yourself. So think is D10. So think is D10, and then sneak is D8. Sneak. And then there's a D6 in think. Oh my God, I'm taking the stats from influencer. Dash is D8. It was an accident. It was an accident. Sway is D6. Sway. Okay. And then I believe everything else is a D4. So he's not really good at shooting, sneaking, or dashing. So we might have a hard time out here, but we'll see. Loot is at a D12. Grit is good. Harm is good. And then we have an item. We have a med kit, D10, and then we have energy bars. So we have a med kit at a D8. Boom. So add that there. Med kits are always super helpful. And then energy bars that are also helpful. Oh wait, med kit is a D10. Nice. Okay, and then we have our memories. So let's say I rolled a 5, and then we asked, okay, Ward, who did you lose on your first week in this unit? On my first week, it's I'm guessing it's only 5, so I'm guessing these are key memories, like the kind that like change your life or the way that you think about something or see something. So, because if you're a nurse, I'm sure you see a lot of tragic things all the time. So, but I would say this one thing that you lost in your first week is like a life-defining moment, and it comes back suddenly. But that's it. That's actually very simple. I just need the damn memory track. Where is it? But yeah, oh my god, character creation was like what, 5 minutes? Anyway, I do have to go. I'm meeting up with some other game masters to discuss some other stuff. Will we see Dr. George WebMD, the nurse? Does that make sense? Dr. George nurse? In these times, yeah, it definitely does. But yeah. I mean, the last thing I'll say is I like the design. I know what they're going for. I think it looks cool. It's well designed. Like the graphic design of it is well done. I would use this though for like the practical everyday actual play. I know it looks boring, but it's just easier to parse for in my opinion. So that's just me. Does this go over grit? So when a character performs a feat, yeah, grit right there, and their grit is restored. I have a question. I think, yeah, grit should just remove that line and you're good. But yeah, I'm still gonna give this game a try. I'm still writing the solo rules for it. I think I'll have a fun time. There's a lot of most of the mechanics I really, really love. Actually, I like all of them. There's just like some clarifications I need. Yeah. Oh, see, yeah, they have complication tables on the other character sheet, the simpler one. But they had them and I was like, oh, should I make my own? When I saw these, and I wanted to make my own that were a little more helpful towards solo play. So that mine have like something mechanically happens. Like you go, okay, bandits are on your trail. Okay, cool. But then you have to, I mean, these are all fine. I think for GMing for others, I made some tables that are more specific for solo play. And mechanical, like you get mechanical complications rather than just a narrative line. So there's that as well. Okay, well, I am going to head out because I do have to go in a couple. I have a meeting in a couple minutes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you did, I do think everybody should still at least give Breathless a try. Like you could download the game for free, the 2nd edition, and then you'll get this character sheet as well, this one here. It has inspired a lot of gameplay, even my own GM-less game that I hope to put out this year in like a beta version after I do some more playtesting. But yeah, I like these mechanics. They're simple and I'm looking forward to testing it out. Memory track is the list of memories under skills equipment. Oh no, I have to go skills equipment. Right. Now it's more of a memory list than a track, I would say. I would argue that it's more of a list than a track. I would love if it also had, see how this is like harm? This is actually a track right here where you keep track of 5. I would love a memory section that has the same thing where I can check off or cross out. Okay, I got my first one. Okay, I got my second one. In terms of like playability. Okay, I do have to go, but that's my final thought. Yeah. That's my final thought. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching if you did. I have to go. Goodbye.